Hey everyone, welcome to Game On, the latest innovation in gaming. And this is part two, the esports panel on how the industry experts see esports evolving in India and how we're engaging fans through 2020 and going to 2021. I have very wonderful bunch of panelists here. I know there's a lot of you watching that will be interested in esports. There's a lot of passion, there's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm in esports in India over the last few years, especially PC gaming. So we'll be discussing about the current esports scene. What are the opportunities? Should you get in? What are the current top games and how Indian esports is shaping up? Before we do jump into this panel, I would like the panelists to introduce themselves one by one. So we can start with Haiwan.
Hello everyone. Thank you SK for having me here. Hello everyone. This is Vishal Sharma, and I go by the nickname of Hewan in the game. I've been playing professionally since 2017, and I've been playing professional Counter Strike since 2014. So I've been a part of the community since like 6-7 years. So yes, that is it from my end.
All right, thank you so much, Haiwan. Then we have Super Mad here. Super Mad, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Thank you, SK. Hi guys. I am Super Mad. I'm a streamer. I used to stream on Twitch earlier, and currently I'm streaming on YouTube. I started 3 months back on YouTube. I've been streaming for 6 years now. And apart from that, I've been into CS:GO community building and Valorant community building. So I've been in the community for more than 7-8 years as well. So yeah, that's pretty much from my side as well.
All right, thank you, Super Mad, for that. Shivam, you can go next.
Yeah. Hi guys. My name is Shivam Rao, and I'm into talent management, influencer marketing, and esports. And I've been in the market for around 2 years, and we basically help creators, influencers, monetize their craft, which is gaming.
All right, thank you so much for that. And then we have Gagandeep, Sick Warrior. Go ahead, Sick Warrior.
Hello everyone. So as Nikhil told, I'm Gagandeep Singh, Sikh Warrior, and I've been streaming for more than 3 years now on YouTube, and I've been gaming, online gaming, for more than 10 plus years. Earlier, I used to be a professional gamer, esports athlete. Then I shifted to streaming, and I switched to professional esports game streaming, and then now it's more or less every game which I love to stream.
All right, and finally we have Rats. Rats, go ahead.
Yep, my name is Ratul Sathish, but everyone knows me by my nickname Rats or Ratsi. I'm the guy you see at GamerConnect events from time to time, and also I enjoy games and I enjoy watching esports, on the daily.
All right, thank you so much for the introductions there. Let's just jump into this panel. I mean, we're here to talk about a bunch of things, but 2020 was a very crazy year. The pandemic hit. There was a lot of up and downs and a lot of things that kind of shaped up our scene, I feel like. And I'd like to direct the first question towards Haiwan, which is completing 2019 and then going into 2020. What did you think the esports scene in India? Do you think it would shape up like what happened now? Do you think that's the best case scenario? I just want you to share your journey as a pro player from 2019 to going into 2020 and now looking forward to 2021.
The esports scene has been on a rise every year, and so in 2019, a lot of tournaments were happening, and the majority of the tournaments were for FPS titles. For example, say PUBG Mobile, CS:GO. So a lot of tournaments were there for those titles. And you could see a decline in the tournaments in Dota 2 and some other games. So coming into 2020, I thought kind of that so this is gonna be the last year for CS:GO, because I was seeing the number as an esports player, the audience matters. the more the audience, the more the tournaments in the country. So there was a decline in the number of tournaments for CS:GO from the start of like 2020. Basically, the 2-3 months of like from Jan to Feb March are kind of the holiday period for any esport title. After that, the events happen. So to top it off, like the pandemic hit and all the LAN tournaments were cancelled for the whole year. There was DreamHack happening like every year. It happened in 2018, then in 2019. So the same DreamHack happened. Same DreamHack was going to happen in 2020 at in Hyderabad, but it got cancelled. So for obvious reasons. So I saw the decline in the number of tournaments in CS:GO, and at the same time, Valorant, Riot Games introduced Valorant. So earlier it was called Project A in 2019, in the later part of 2019, like in June, July, but then finally they launched in April. So and the thing is, Riot does things differently, and they concentrate on each region apart, like not each continent, but each region in that continent. So they have their operations in South Asia, they have some operations in SEA, Japan, Korea, Europe, NA, South America. So everywhere. Unlike CS:GO, like they will host the qualifiers for the whole of Asia region. They will host qualifiers for the whole of Europe. So I kind of thought, ki, okay, this is gonna be this is gonna be interesting, and seeing by the numbers since day one, like people love FPS, be it Apex Legends or be it CS:GO or be it Valorant. Like people love FPS. So from the start of Valorant, I thought, okay, this game is gonna go to the it is gonna get crowned as the FPS king, at least in India, because CS:GO was dying and there was no FPS title, PC FPS title replacing that game. So yes, so actually, Valorant came in at the right time for the people,
Mhm.
and people from all the community, PUBG PC, Apex Legends, Overwatch, CS:GO, and few other genre players like Dota 2 or League of Legends. All these players combined and gave support to Valorant, and I feel one of the most important thing which because of it Valorant got a boost was the hand of influencers. That is, I feel, the PUBG Mobile influencers or many other gaming streaming personalities tried Valorant and they liked Valorant, of course.
Yeah.
So I think that gave Valorant a big boost to the country, and audience came in, and as audience came in, tournaments started to happen, and there are so many online tournaments happening in the country right now, and I'm just waiting for this pandemic to end, because everyone is excited to go for a LAN tournament.
That
So
is right.
the
All right,
future
so
looks bright.
I think you summed it up pretty well there. I mean, it was a new game, it was new audience, new hype. Everything just worked, and the timing couldn't have been perfect, like you said. And
Yes.
Riot as a whole, I think this is what we are seeing as well. It's that bigger organizations kind of entering the scene completely. They know what's happening. They've understood the scene and they've entered. So Riot's been there for a long time, and they've just calculated all along, and they've just brought in. And I feel like, if you look at Rainbow Six Siege as well, they're also started replicating, and I think more and more companies will start replicating this in the scene, and which is just going to give us a better structure. And the one point you mentioned is that viewership during tournaments, right? And I think I'd like to ask Mohit this, because you've been part of community building and you've seen these tournaments throughout the year. How did this help us in 2020, right? The amount of online tournaments, or I just want you to highlight that as a community person, uh, how the pandemic or how Valorant, or just overall, how did this benefit us the most? Because we've seen a brilliant year in esports in 2020.
Thank you,
Okay.
SK. So, as Haiwan highlighted, that the viewership decreased a lot for all the FPS titles and major games in esports in India. So, the actual reason behind it was, I guess, the land tournaments and lack of promotion behind the tournaments happening. Because of that, a lot of people are either like in the age um, 15 to 24 in India who watch games and all, and they are not either not ready to travel to different places to watch the tournaments on lands, or they are not allowed to do it, and a lot of people don't even want to invest money and go to watch a tournament. So this is where it became interesting after the pandemic hit. I mean, in terms of esports, I'm saying. So online tournaments, how it changed the scene is all those people who had to travel to watch a tournament, so they were able to watch everything online for free. So that played a major role, and it was so easy for people. And I guess the setback what CS:GO and Dota 2 had, they were not able to recover, and Valorant played a major role there, coming in to the scene at the right time, getting there, and lot of tournaments happening, as Havan again highlighted that Riot actually focuses on region based tournaments. So that also played a big role. And now nowadays you see a lot of online tournaments happening, and I guess this is going to be like kind of a future as well. Like, people don't want to move out from their chairs and go and watch a tournament. And I mean, so it actually feels good if you go and attend a LAN event or a major place where a lot of people can meet. But now, I mean, in this pandemic, we have learned that, yeah, you can be friends with different people staying at home too. So it's a good learning and a good change in esports. But and one more thing I want to highlight there. So it's not that only online tournaments are happening, and it's only not only good for the players or I mean people who are organizing this. So it's these tournaments are actually giving more opportunities to people in terms of jobs as well. So if you see, a lot of casters are coming in, there are a lot of tournaments happening. So every tournament, TOs cannot actually get the same set of people to cast in production. So I mean, I don't want to name any particular TOs, but like I have seen, like recently, lately, we have seen a lot of very well organized tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and we are seeing a lot of new faces as well, giving opportunities again to the casters, production team, backend team is amazing. So yeah, I mean, that's what jobs and yep.
Yeah, I get it. So, overall, it's like opening up the field. Like, the more tournaments are happening, yes, there's more opportunity for anyone from a player. Like I once said, like he's a player, but then there's also the back end. There's also the TOs who are getting casters and production and community person to like promote admins for each of these games. And there's so much talent being acquired to run these tournaments at a top level. And who better to talk about talent than Shivam, who's actively doing this on a regular basis for the past 2 years. So, as when we deep dive into talent, can you give us some aspects of what all you can do in this budding, in this growing esports industry, Shivam?
Yeah. So when we look at talent, right? So all of the most of the talents which who we work with are based out of mobile gaming,
Mm-hmm.
especially PUBG Mobile. So we saw that esports in 2019, that esports and mobile was pretty big, but in 2020 Valorant led the way for PC tournaments.
Yeah.
And almost all of our streamers, all of the influencers, they enjoyed playing Valorant, even if they were hardcore PUBG players, mobile
Mm.
players.
Yeah.
But and even the audience also was very much interested in watching it, because some of our talents, they have tried playing different PC games, but it's never, it's about the type of feedback they get and what type of interest the audience shows. But Valorant was a game which was which was pretty good, and it had a healthy feedback from the audience as well, and they wanted to watch it. They wanted their streamers to play it.
Yeah.
And what also happened was, since these streamers started playing the game, and when you play a game, there's always a community which forms, and all of these streamers, they start hosting their own tournaments, like
Yeah.
right? So we actually saw that this is a very good way of building this community up. So we also started our tournaments. We did some streamer invitational, and we did a streamer bid wars, which
Hmm.
was a Valorant tournament specifically, and it was bid war in which we had like 8 streamers and 56 players, and basically each streamer was bidding on different players,
Yeah.
and we got a very good feedback from that activity, because it brings the community together, and it helps it really helps in building the ecosystem. So so I would say that influencers, the streamers, play a very vital role in bringing up a game and building up the community around it.
Correct. Yeah, I think that is very fair to say. I mean, these guys kind of led that forefront. It's not just, not just Valorant. I feel like most of the games that are popular are always like led by a particular person or particular set of influencers. And, we've been talking about Valorant a lot, but recently I did 2 tournaments, which was around Fortnite and Warzone. Fortnite, you would think that okay, it's not a lot of people, but I think in 3 days we got about 380 odd registrations, which are very surprising, right? So I feel like right now with Valorant, what's happening is everyone else is testing the waters because we know that there's a big viewership, there's a big base here. So let's try and look at other opportunities because Apex, again, it's a close knit community, but they also have their numbers. Warzone has a huge, like we did a recent Warzone activity, which was 25 odd streamers, and it was brilliant. Like everyone had fun. And talking about streamers, talking about pro esports content, I feel like this is also a point that we need to address is the fact that what Shivam mentioned, people are more open to watching esports content,
Yeah.
right? In the past it would be like, oh, this person's try harding, it's like
Yeah.
whatever, and you would notice like very talented people, like even Haiwan himself. I think Haiwan Garn is streaming very late, but I remember like Marzil and stuff, they wouldn't like pull in that many people because everyone was more interested in the fun element or the casual stuff. But now if I wake up anywhere from 9 when Haiwan starts streaming all the way to like 12 where Sick is streaming or Supermad is streaming, it's like people are consuming this educational, this content where they want to watch their top players play. And with that being said, like we have Sick Warrior here, who is a full-time streamer, and Sick has kind of spearheaded this from the start. He always focused on, I'm going to play the best at the top level. How has that changed for you from say when you started all the way to you're here, you're at pretty much the top tier list. So give us a rundown of how that's changed with respect to esports content.
With respect to esports content, in 2018-17, when I started, there was only Counter Strike back then, and in late 2018, everybody started following the trend of PUBG, and that's when things changed and things moved in India also. And this game made everyone crazy because this was something big, which was happening worldwide, internationally, and India was not very open to new games like PUBG. They were very close knitted to old games. They want to stick to old games. If you try to play some other game, new game, they'll pull you back first of all.
Yeah.
But then they explode. Like, oh my god, everybody is playing, and that's when the internet boom happened. Like Geo came in with good internet, and then everybody was online, and that's when streaming boomed, and esports streaming also boomed because Counter Strike viewership was very less, and viewership in general was very less because everybody had limited internet. But then, in like when PUBG came, everybody loved to watch international streamers playing PUBG, and then they started watching Indian streamers playing these top titles like PUBG, like Counter Strike, and then in 2019, everybody shifted to some other games like Apex Legends and Call of Duty Warzone came. A lot of games came, and then in 2020 Valorant came. So
Yeah.
a lot of esports title came in 2018, 19, 20, like PUBG, Apex Legends, Warzone, Fortnite, and Valorant. These all of these games had a specific community, and they wanted someone winning in that game. Like, if you win in that game, you play with a try hard mentality, and you secure a victory for the maximum time, like for the maximum numbers. So like everybody love to watch that. They want to learn how to get good at the game, how to aim properly, how to even how to set up your game properly, because
Yeah.
newer people don't know how which settings to apply, how to get the best FPS. And if you are playing an FPS game, FPS matters a lot. So if you are getting full FPS which your PC is capable of, then you are at the top of that game. So everybody was looking for content, and they were looking for streamers to create that content, because they were watching the streamers, and they were thinking like, oh, these are gods and they are so good at the game. I want to become like them. And there were like newer people who were coming to these games. A lot of like gamers were coming from mobile games, who have never seen any PC game or played any PC game. So they were crazy for their first game. Like a lot of people made their first PC just to play Valorant competitively
Yep.
because they loved it, and a lot of people like loved PUBG, and they wanted to enjoy PUBG in bigger screen, not just mobile. So they made good PCs, and that's when the boom happened, and streamers got a lot of attention in 2018, 19, and 20, like these 3 years. And before this, everybody was like, streaming has no career, esports streaming has nothing, and like, what are you doing, wasting your time, don't do this, you cannot do anything in life, you are just sitting and gaming. But now everybody is recognizing this thing, and they are supporting also if you are good at it.
Yeah, I feel that is fair. I mean, the pandemic basically opened up to the fact that and the broadband, and it was a lot of elements, like you said. But I feel like the acceptability, people would, like when I watch or when I'm in my 9 a.m. meeting and then I have another screen, Haiwan's playing with like thousands of people at 9 in the morning. At that slot was not even known. But if you look at the way we're like consuming content, it's throughout the day. There are certain slots that you would like in the past there would be a 9 p.m. slot or a 7 p.m., 6 p.m. where the highest viewership was there, and there would only be like 5 people who would like share the audience. But now throughout the day there's a mix and match, all of you are growing at an equal pace. There's no like and you can actually consider, like Sequoia said, you can consider as a full-time streamer. If you do the right things, if you tick the right boxes, you can definitely get into this as a full-time. And it's crazy to see that we've come here at a very short period of time, because like he said, in 2019, if you'd say this, it would be like you'd get a chappal saying go do your studies. But here we are with a lot more people that are in full time. And esports is not just the casual or the people who are making fun content. It's the esports guys that are getting into full time streaming. And it also, comes down to quality. I feel like everyone else has stepped up their qualities throughout the year. Like, from 2018, 2019, 2020, we were a region that wasn't really like looked at it with respect to quality. Maybe there was one or two TOs that would have these top level people working for them, and they would give us insane events. We've seen the Dream Hacks, we've seen, there's so many events that go on. But in 2020, if you tell me like the main thing I feel is a visual treat. I go to any tournaments and I expect like same level quality. Any Valorant tournaments you say, I'm like, I expect like top tier, and that's what I'm getting. And with that being said, like let's pull in Rats, who's been in the back end or who's done production for pretty much a lot of the NVIDIA events that we host internally. So can you give us a bit of, what goes on in the back? Why is it so important at the end of the day, and why it was very essential for us as a region to like step up so that our audience can actually enjoy it? It's not just, hey, let's just put a stream out there or tournament out there. Let's just up the thing. Let's just bring in replays, bring in analysts, casters. Why this was important, why this happened, and how it's gonna help us or pretty much grow the viewership even more.
Yeah, so the thing is, right, like all of us, like as viewers, what do we want more? Like, yes, we do want our favorite team to win. We want our favorite streamer to get the victory royale or the win, right? But apart from all that, we also want those popping imagery that comes out of nowhere, right? To give an example, Doctor Disrespect, I think I would rate him to be like one of the top streamers who has that level of production quality. When
yes.
he made his comeback, right, he had like a 24-hour gap. I think he just streamed for 24 hours with just the visual, and a lot of people saw that when he started his comeback with all the visual effects. Like he built a story around it, and he didn't do it himself. He had a team, a production team that was helping him and backing him up, right? So a lot of people, like everyone in India, from what I've noticed, wants to be in front of the camera, but there's also like an equal rewarding like satisfaction you get from being behind the scenes, right? Like I'm 100% sure, like Sick, Superman, and Haiwan here, even SK himself, you guys got your editors who make your videos for you, right? Because streaming, being an esports player, I mean, you guys got esports players got practice. They've got to be a personality. They won't have time to edit their own videos. That's where your production team, the backend guys, will be there to help them out, right? The same goes for streamers. Streamers stream for long hours, and a production team will help them out in the long run. So there is, and it's a good satisfaction to see the person that you're working for, right, or you're working with, showcase the work that you made to thousands and thousands of people, right? If Haiwan gets the next new montage and he puts it on YouTube tomorrow, and 10,000 people have seen it, as a guy who's in the production, you get that satisfaction that, hey, this is what I made, right? This is what my stream, like the streamer I work with, has put out there, and it just gives a really it gives a kind of satisfaction that I don't know how to explain it in words, but it is something that would bring a smile onto your face. Like the production, the back end guys, you could call them the unsung heroes, because they are the guys who turn that entire the canvas, right, that the streamer's painting, like they set it up for the streamer who paints the canvas later on, right? And everything has to be like to perfection, to what the streamer wants, from the color schemes. Like I don't want to go into the depths, but all of those nitty-gritty details, they do matter towards the end when it comes to like the production side of things for any esport events, or even a streamer's live stream.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, when you were saying, I was just trying to visualize maybe something like a concert, like your favorite EDM concert or whatever, and you go to a concert and there's none of these laser lights. It's just a DJ standing there. I don't think it would be the same. It's fair to say that people enjoyed it. Like imagine a Tomorrowland with like none of the crazy stuff that goes on, just a DJ and a table, right? That would be nowhere close to what it was. Fair to say that yes, we've stepped it up. Everything on screen that we see has to be visually appealing to catch our attention. Or if it's just a bland screen, I don't think any of us are going to sit there and just watch for like 30 minutes or so. So yeah, we've spoken about the entire scene, everything from how 2020 just shaped up the whole scene for us, the tournaments, the talent, the streaming, the backend. This is an open question to all of you before we like close out. Do you feel like we can revive, or do you feel like we need a lot more games to come to the level or the stardom that Valorant has come to? And if so, like each of you can just give like a pointer. If so, how do we do this? Like, maybe for me, I would say like, oh, I was a big Dota fan. So how do I revive it? Or do you guys think that there should be certain titles that should also come back up? And then so that we have a much wider array of games like we did in the past. It's an open question for all of you.
Yeah, so I think CSGO should come back to the scene. Honestly saying, I'm a big CSGO fan. So whenever someone asks me why are you not playing CSGO, why have you been playing Valorant for so long? So I say CSGO is actually love. I mean, it's here. I can be out of
Ivan is smirking in the corner. I can see him. He's like he wants to go back because even though Valo is good, yeah.
I want CSGO to be on the top. Honestly saying. And I guess currently how the things shape up is like as I said, influencers actually plays a big role in what game the community should watch. So I guess the more people start streaming CS:GO, maybe it can revive CS:GO scene again. And then
Mhm.
later on, if a lot of people start playing CS:GO, uh, tournaments would also start happening for CS:GO again. So this is what I think might happen. So it's like a cycle which
Yeah.
goes
I
on.
think for me, if CS:GO wants to come back, Valve has to step in,
It's true.
because there are no updates in CS:GO. To be honest, there's one
Mhm.
update in 6 months, and unlike Riot, gives you updates in Valorant, like in every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So there every 2 weeks there's a new patch. There are new agents being launched. There are new skins being launched. So in terms of that, CS:GO is very behind,
Very good.
and sure, as an esports player, you look up to tournaments, but as a casual player, you look up to a lot of new updates. Like, why am I playing this game? I'm playing
Mm.
this game because I want something fresh. I want something new. So that is what CS:GO is unable to do, and that is where Riot has an edge over Valve in terms of updates. And also, as Maddie Bhai mentioned, as Sick Warrior mentioned, streamers, influencers play a very vital role, because as you see, recently Among Us or Fall Guys, or you can say Minecraft is such an
Yeah.
old game, but now it's so popular in India that everyone is streaming Minecraft. So they play a very important role in bringing any game,
Okay.
because people don't research about tournaments. Okay. uh, the advertisement, the production guys need to advertise it correctly,
Mm.
to bring on their faces ki, okay, this is the tournament which is running. So how do they do that? Streamers also play a very
Yeah.
important part, that this is tournament is happening. So that is how any game gets popularized in India. So I think, yes, as Sikwarian and Madibai mentioned, and they are very right in terms of that. Also, very important part which Shivam said, that influencers play a very important part. So I think, if any game wants to come back into the scene, it has to be on the game itself. It has to be about the updates and everything happening around.
Anyone else want to pitch in?
I would love to
The
see
game.
the battle royale genre come back, and the reason for this is from a production standpoint. Is out of all the game genres out there, MOBA, FPS, battle royale. Me personally, I have loved the spectating features and observer features from battle royale games because that's a huge map. It's like there's a lot happening, and
Yeah.
also there's a lot of flexibility in what you can do with the camera movements. I mean, don't get me wrong, CSGO and Valorant have those as well, but it's not like inbuilt. For CSGO, you got to use some console commands. Valorant, I think you might have to use an external software, if I'm not mistaken. But for Battle Royale, it's all there. For someone who wants to get into production as like a beginner's way to go for it, battle royale games, the observer mode is something that I personally loved, and I would like to see it come again as a trend.
And as a
I
production guy, I think it's an challenging task also for to host a battle royale
It
thing,
is.
because
Tournament, yes.
if you take Dota or Valorant or CS:GO, there is a team 5v5. So that's only I'm talking about LAN tournaments basically.
Mm.
5v5. So just like 10 PCs, but I have no idea about how battle royale works in LAN. Might like
It
just
has. So basically, we've done a few tournaments like that, and
yes,
then Ace
yes,
of Predators happened on LAN.
yes,
Yes, like you said, it's a very challenging element, but that's what I'm saying, right? We've come from, hey, this is not possible, to let's do it. So
yeah,
that's why I feel like as an esports scene, we've stopped saying no, or we've stopped saying like, oh, this is too difficult to do. We're all in that place where we're like, let's make it happen, which is amazing because it's not just a single man's effort. It's not just the sponsors saying, here's my money, take it. It's a collaborative effort from everyone that's saying let's execute this event. Like it would never be possible to do an Ace of Predator if everyone said, oh, it's not possible to get a hunt. Yes, there were hiccups along, but people did show up, people did play,
yeah,
and the tournament did happen. So I'm really glad that in 2020 everyone just said yes, let's do it, let's get it done. And there's a lot of points like you guys said. I'll let Sik and Shivam talk before I conclude this. So Sik, you can go ahead.
So I was like saying that any game which needs to go big in India or
Mhm.
maybe any region in Southeast Asia region, that they need to support gamers who don't have a high-end PC. Like how why Valorant got so much big,
Yeah.
because it could run in a PC which can cost you around 50K, and you can run it decent in a very good FPS, and people love that about the game.
Yeah.
Or Sadi Sat, you play other games like Counter Strike, that is also very much playable in a low end PC. But if you see a lot of games which come as high end like Warzone even or PUBG even, you need a very high end PC to get into gaming and get into esports of that, because you need those
True.
frames, you need that added boost to your PC, juice to your PC.
Yep.
That's then that happens. So I feel the devs should make such games and update their games in such a manner that everybody should enjoy. Like 1080p 60 fps or 1080p 144 fps now, I would say, should be the goal of every dev who is making the game, if it is an esports game or if they have any esports scene in that game. Because if not, then that game will not be popular in certain markets, which it should be, where where people want to play that game, but they don't have that much budget or that much money for that.
Completely understood. Shivam, last points.
Yeah, so I would like to mention that I think all the streamers or the influencers, they should actively start streaming different games. We never know what might hit, right? Just like what happened with I would say Among Us, right? It became so popular across the world, and it's not a new game. It's an old game, right?
Yep.
And so one day, I don't remember who was it. There's a pretty big streamer who was playing it. Because of him, it it
Guys,
it went viral, right? Yeah. So I think streamers hold the responsibility as well to try out different games, different titles, different genres, and I mean they basically have the control over the community and the ecosystem, and yeah, so I think yeah they should try out different games, and and motivate their viewers to basically try out different games as well.
All right. Thank you guys so much again for all your input. This was brilliant. This was a lot of knowledge share, and I hope everyone watching kind of enjoyed this as well. And please leave, when this does go live, and then you guys can also leave your feedback. Let us know what you thought about it, and you can reach out to each of these people. We will drop their links as well. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a great evening. And yeah, that's it for today's panel. Thank you again.